Hey guys, hopefully everyone is doing well. Today's target is to solve question number 13.12. The chapter which we are related with is leverage and capital structure. Before this question, we have already completed various forms of calculation of leverage. And from last question 13.11, we have started capital structure. And as I have introduced few terminologies related to capital structure in which you do have your common stock, or it is also called common capital. Then we had suggested as preferred stock. Secondly, after preferred stock, we have retained earning as well. So this is the way you can earn your capital, three different types. And then on the other hand, we have seen debts, loans, debentures, bonds. Almost these four terms are similar when you are resourcing your finance from outside. These are internal sources and you can call it equity financing. After that, what we have discussed over here, it is called debt financing. So these are two different ways with which you can arrange your finance, equity financing or debt financing. The difference of these two is basically the profit. In this case, when you have your equity financing, profit and loss sharing would be the base of this investment from public. And debt financing, there is no profit and loss, rather you will be as an organization liable to pay amount of interest which would be fixed. In case of profit, it may be possible within a very short period of time your investment can be doubled as your as a shareholder, but in this case you will receive fixed amount of interest and that would not be altered. Let's say 10% has been decided in whole year you will not be able to receive more than 10%. So it would be a fixed amount. Common stock means you have allotted your shares to common public and they are eligible to get profit. In case of loss, they will also be sharing that loss. Preferred stock means if dividend has been decided to be given to public, initially dividend would be given to the preferred stockholders, and if still we have balance, if we still have dividend in balance, that dividend would be given to the common stock. The sole difference between common stock and preferred stock is you will be giving profit to preferred stockholders first, and if still dividend is present in your balance, then remaining amount of profit would be given to the common stock. Retained earning means if there is profit earned by the organization, that profit has not been distributed among shareholders. It has been retained with permission of stockholders. So this profit would not be distributed among shareholders and in future it would be used for any business or financial needs. Over here, it's simple thing. You have taken loan from different resources and in return you are paying your interest. Over here, we will see what kind of capital structure created. Let's start. And a new terminology is being introduced over here, degree of financial leverage. We have already discussed degree of operating leverage. That was contribution margin divided by net margin. And here we are going to calculate degree of financial leverage. Name of the company, loan savings and loan has current capital structure. So there are only two types of capital. 250,000 6% annual interest debt. Like you have seen that there were two shapes of capital structure, equity financing and debt financing. Right now we have taken loan. It means this organization is running on debt financing. 250,000 is your loan and 2000 shares from common stock. Also, organization does have some part of its capital with the help of issuing shares to the common public. Common stock is present and debenture or loan is present as your capital structure. In other words, preferred stock is absent, retained earning is absent. There are only two types of capital structure. There are only two elements in capital structure, common stock and loan. All right. Then what is requirement of the question? Using EBIT values, these are EBIT, earning before interest and tax, determine associated earning per share. Kindly keep it in mind, to calculate earning per share, we should have earning, net margin or net profit after tax and interest. It has been needed to calculate earning per share. For that, we will create our pro forma. Basically, it is our income statement, which would have the very first thing EBIT, earning before interest and tax, and then first thing which would be subtracted would be interest on loan. You will get earning after interest but before tax, and then you will subtract your relevant tax over here. So here you will calculate your tax, with which you will get earning after interest and after tax. Further, you will subtract dividend to preferred shareholders, and you will get your net margin after that. This would be considered as your earning after interest and after tax. So this would be your net earning after tax, after interest, and after dividend paid to the preferred shareholders. So this net earning would be considered as your final earnings, and this would be used to calculate your earning per share. So in this way your calculations would be completed. This is your income statement. Very first thing which you need is earning before interest and tax. Go back to the question and look over here. Using EBIT, earning before interest and tax, first value is $80,000. Since it's total amount of EBIT, so we will directly put 80,000 over here. This is your earning before interest and tax. And now we need to calculate interest. For that, please read out. Total debt which has been taken is 250,000 and 16% annual interest would be paid out. Here you will calculate your interest. For that, loan would be multiplied with interest percent. Loan over here was 250,000 and you will multiply how much interest rate is 16%. So you will pay 16% interest. In this way, your amount of interest would be calculated. Now please follow this statement. You need to calculate 16% of 250,000. So you will multiply it with 16 and divided it by 100. You have got your amount of interest. And now it's time to calculate earning after interest, which is actually the difference between amount of interest and EBIT. Your EBIT is 80,000 and please note it down. This is your EBIT. When you will subtract interest, you will get earning after interest. So earning before interest was 80,000 and you need to subtract your amount of interest 40,000. This way you have got your earning after interest. Now we will calculate its tax. And how would you calculate it? Simply you will multiply your earning rate of tax is 40% normally. Let's read out. Firm pays tax at the rate of 40%. So you will calculate simply 40% over here. So let's calculate its tax. Earning, we have 40,000. You can see earning after interest but before tax. This is the amount which is needed to calculate your tax. Amount was 40,000. Okay, why not we should calculate over here so that you can remember it. Okay, 40,000 was earning and you will take 40% of it. Okay, now let's calculate what does happened. Actually, sometimes my system does not cooperate in a proper way. So 40,000 was the amount. Please follow this statement. You need to multiply it with 40 and divide it by 100. So amount of tax has been calculated. Now we can calculate earning after interest and after tax. For this previous earning, and you will subtract your amount of tax. Previous earning was 40,000 and you will subtract amount of tax which is 16,000. We have got our earning after interest and after tax. Our problem has been sorted out. Now we can calculate our preferred dividend, which is not given in our question. It was mentioned that there are only two types of capital: shares from common stock and loan taken. Preferred stock and retained earning was not present, so you can write 0. After which you can earn your final, you can calculate your final earning by subtracting dividend from interest. Dividend was 0. Earning after interest was 24,000. So final earning or net earning which we have calculated is 24,000. So in this way your earning per share has been completed. Over here a requirement is what? Using EBIT determine associated earning per share. So over here earning per share can be calculated. For this what you will do, net income or earning would be divided by number of shares. Net earning is calculated over here 24,000. Okay, and there might be three different types of shares. Look over here, possibly common shares, preferred shares, and in terms of retained earning, which is not present in the question, and preferred stock is also absent in the question. So it's just the coincidence. If for example we have common shares and preferred shares present in the question, you will take only common shares. To calculate EPS, you will always be taking common shares. So common number of shares were present in our question, and that is 2000. 2000 shares of common stock. So here we are going to divide it with 12,000 number of shares. Net earning was calculated 24,000, number of share given in the question 12,000. In this way our statement has been completed. Now we are open to calculate it. One second, number of share were 2000. Let me correct it. Go back to the question. These are 12,000 number of shares. Again I'm saying 12,000, actually it is 2000. What had happened? Look over here, 2000 number of shares. So let's correct it. 2000 over here, you can calculate 2000. So we have got our earning per share, and that is 12. Earning per share 12. This is our first answer. You can see that A part is having two answers, 12 and 24. We have used earning before interest and tax of 80,000. Now we will calculate for 120,000. Before that, just mark it as it has been completed. We have completed part 1 and this was A part, A1 part. So A first part has been calculated and now we will be calculating AB part where we are required to use second EBIT which is 1,20,000. So obviously this whole income statement would be used. I am for the time being taking these headings, and secondly these amounts are unneeded so we can erase them. Similarly these amounts are not required because we are going to start a second part where we are asked to take earning before interest and tax as 120,000. Look over here. At A part, initially we have calculated earning per share according to 80,000 and now we have started earning per share according to 120,000. Alright, so now we will calculate our interest. Interest would be similar as it was in first part. We need to calculate 16% interest on loan. Please follow this statement. 250,000 was the loan and you need to calculate 16%. So multiply 16 divided by 100. We have got our interest. At this stage you can calculate your earning after interest and before tax. Simply you will subtract interest from EBIT. EBIT was 120,000 and you will subtract amount of interest which was 40,000. So this way earning after interest has been calculated. Next step is to calculate your tax. Earning, now we do have 80,000, just change it and you will calculate 40% of earning. How this earning was calculated, as I have told you, you have subtracted interest from EBIT. So you have calculated earning after interest, but it was before tax. This earning is needed to calculate your tax. So over here, let's calculate our tax 80,000 and you need to multiply 40 divided by 100. This way total tax is calculated. Now it's time to calculate earning after interest and after tax. How? You have your previous earning, just subtract tax from it. Previous earning was 80,000 which is written over here and you will subtract your tax which is 32,000. So we have got earning after interest and after tax, while at this stage there is no preferred share present in the company. So no dividend is required to be given. Finally, we are at the stage where we can calculate net earning. Net earning was supposed to be calculated by subtracting dividend from earning after interest. Since earning after interest and tax is present but no dividend is present, so same amount would be considered as your net earning. This net earning was supposed to be calculated. Why? Because earning per share is dependent upon this earning. Formula of earning per share is simple. Take net earning and divide it by number of shares. Net earning over here 48,000 and you need to divide it with number of share. As you know, number of share in this question is 2000. Let me show you once again. These are 2000 shares of common stock. So if you have several number of shares, means shares for common stock, shares for preferred stock and other shares are also present, but you will always be taking common stock to calculate EPS or earning per share. Statement has been completed. We are now needed just to divide it. So after division we have got our answer. This is earning per share and that is 24. So in this way both earning per share has been calculated. Second answer is 24. Go over here. A part is having two answers, 12 and 24, and you can see that 12 and 24 has been calculated. It means A for two parts has been completed. Earning per share was calculated for 80,000 EBIT. EPS or earning per share is 12. For 120,000 EBIT, earning before interest and tax, your EPS means earning per share is 24. So this EPS has been calculated. Now let's see what B part is saying. Using 80,000 EBIT as base, calculate degree of financial leverage. Alright. So let's come over here. and we are starting B part, but B1 would be calculated as there are two EBITs. So we are now up to calculate our degree of financial leverage, and it has a formula: degree of financial leverage change in EPS, and it would be divided by change in EBIT. So this would be your formula. At this stage, kindly understand that you need to calculate change in EPS or earning per share, and you need to divide it with change in EBIT. So better word for understanding is you will calculate the percentage. So over here you can write percentage change in EBIT, and then you need to put percentage change in EPS. Okay, this is formula basically to calculate degree of financial leverage. Other formulas could also be present in the book, but this is the simplest and easiest way to calculate degree of financial leverage. First, we will calculate percentage change in EPIs or earning per share, but kindly keep it in mind they are saying to take 80,000 as base. We have two EPS which were calculated above. Look over here for 80,000 units. This is for 80,000 EBIT. We have 12 earning per shares. So why not we should mention over here. First EBIT was 80,000 and you have calculated earning per share as well, which was 12. Let me show you again. We were having EBIT, look over here, 80,000. For this earning per share was calculated 12, and second EBIT is 120,000. So put 120,000 over here. For this we have also calculated EBIT. Second EBIT is 120,000. Look over here. Second EBIT is 120,000, for which you have calculated 24 as earning per share. So you can write 24 over here. And what is this behavior of Excel? We have written 12. So in this way our data has been posted. Understand again. 80,000 EBIT was given in your book and we have calculated EPS. Answer was checked and that was 12. And similarly 120,000 EBIT for second option was given in your question, and 24 EPS we have calculated. So these are two terms which will be used to calculate degree of financial leverage. At above we need to see percentage change in EPS. This is your EPS. For this you will calculate percentage change in EPS. For that what you will do, change in EPS divided by base EPS, and finally you will multiply it with 100. So this way you can calculate your change in EPS. Percentage change in EPS. At this stage our system is little disturbed. Let's make it okay. Now we have got percentage change in EPS. So for first, look over here, what change had come. To write down the change, base is 80,000 number of unit. So to calculate the change, we will simply subtract. So come over here, 24 minus 12, with which you can calculate your change in EPS. Base EPS was 12, you need to divide it, and finally you will multiply it with 100. Alright, so our statement has been completed. Now let's calculate it. First we will subtract 24 minus 12 and we'll divide it with 12, which is base, and then we need to multiply it with 100. Let put one more bracket over here. So there are brackets. Okay, so we have calculated, this is your percentage change in EPS, and that is 100. And now you will calculate second percentage change. Look over the formula: degree of financial leverage, percentage change in EPS, and percentage change in EBIT. Now we will calculate percentage change in EBIT. Formula would be just like similar, percentage change in EBIT. For this, what you want to have, change in EBIT, and would be divided by base EBIT, and finally you will multiply it with 100. In this way you can complete your formula. Now to calculate the change, we will simply subtract two EBITs. For this, 120,000 was first EBIT and 80,000 is second EBIT. You will subtract to calculate the change, and then you need to divide it with base EBIT. In question it was said to make 80,000 EBIT as base, and then you will multiply it with 100. So in this way you can calculate your percentage change in EBIT. Statement has been completed, so we can put it on our calculator. Simply subtract both EBITs to calculate change, divide it with base EBIT, which is 80,000, close your bracket and multiply it with 100. Okay, so we have calculated second change of EBIT. Please note it down. This was change in EPS and this is change in EBIT. Both have been calculated, and now we can put it on our formula. So let's get back to the actual question. This is in percentage change in EPS divided by percentage change in EBIT. So percentage change in EPS was calculated 100, and you need to divide it with percentage change in EBIT, which was 50. So in this way, percentage change in EBIT was 50. Okay guys, so we have completed our formula. Statement has been completed. Let's just put a line in between it. So 100 divided by 50 is simply, there will be answer 2, and this is what degree of financial leverage has been calculated. So let's mark it as it has been completed. Go back to the question and you can see B part, answer in handwritten is 2. Using 80,000 EBIT as base, calculate degree of financial leverage. So 2 is the answer and we have calculated 2. In this way, B part has been completed, and since B was having only one part, so let's rectify it. We need to put only B part. Now let's go back to the question and see what C part is saying. Rework part A and B, assuming that firm has 1 lakh 16% annual interest as debt and 3,000 number of shares. So it's just for a good practice. What we will do, we will again calculate everything. EBITs are same, but amount of loan, that means interest, would be calculated in different way, and number of share would also be changed. And why it is, again I have written 2000, number of shares were 2000, it is automatically being changed. Okay guys, so in this question what you will do, you will again perform A and B. It means up till now what we have done, it would be repeated. So be calm and cool. For the time being we have already performed this function. For C part, this where we can start our C part. Just put down all headings over here for C first part, C1 part, and these calculations are not needed. We can remove them over here as well. And now EBIT, first EBIT, go back to the question and look over here. Using 80,000 and 120,000, only input has been changed. Instead of 250,000 we have loan of 1 lakh, and instead of 2000 we have 3000 number of shares. So these inputs present in the question has been changed, while in requirement is everything same. 80,000 is your first EBIT, you can put over here. And now we will change it because it has been said amount of loan would be 1 lakh instead of 250,000. Let's get back to the question and see what change in percentage has been said. Okay, 1 lakh 16%. Percentage has not been changed, that would be similar. So amount of interest on loan would be calculated by taking the amount of loan multiply interest percentage. Amount of loan was said in your question has been changed. It is now 1 lakh and 16% rate of interest. So simply you will follow this statement. 1 lakh is your amount of loan and you need to calculate 16%. So you have calculated your amount of interest. Now you can calculate earning after interest, which is simply you will deduct interest from EBIT. Your EBIT is 80,000, subtract amount of interest, which is 16,000. You have got earning after interest. And now we will calculate the tax. Your earning after interest but before tax is needed to calculate your tax, and that is 64,000. Now just follow this statement. What you want to do, 64,000 amount we have calculated earning before interest but earning after interest but before tax, and you are needed to calculate 40%, which is given in your question. So we have calculated our earning after interest before tax, and now we can calculate earning after interest and after tax. For that you will simply subtract tax from earning after interest, which is 64,000, and you will subtract amount of tax 25600. You have got your earning after interest. Dividend for preferred shareholder is absent in the question, so 38,400 is your net earning when your loan is 1 lakh and EBIT is 80,000. Now we can calculate earning per share. Net earning which we have calculated is 38400, and you need to divide it with number of shares 3000. 3000 is also given in your question. Look over here, what changes were asked to make. 1 lakh was the loan and 3000 number of shares. So let's calculate earning per share. 38400 divided by 3000. So we have got our first earning per share, which is 12.8. Let's get back to the question, and you can see 12.8 is your first answer, and we have calculated 12.5, 12.8 as well. This is first part we have solved, and now for second option we will again use these headings, except for this statement. Just remove it. Earning per share calculation would also be removed, and we are going to start our C2 part, where earning was presented in your question. Look, we have to follow A and B part because in C part it has been said rework in A and B. In A part, second earning before interest and tax was 120,000. Okay, amount of loan for the C part was changed. It was 1 lakh. So simply follow this calculation. 1 lakh amount of loan multiply by 16 divided by 100. So amount of interest is calculated. Now we can calculate earning after interest. Simply you will subtract interest from EBIT. EBIT 120,000, and you will subtract amount of interest on loan 16,000. You have got your earning after interest. Now tax would be calculated, for which you need to have earning after interest, which is 104,000. So simply you will calculate 40% of interest on earning after interest. Follow this statement, 104,000, and you need to calculate 40%. Okay, amount of tax is calculated. Now you will calculate earning after interest after tax, for which you will subtract tax from previous earning. Previous earning was 104,000, and you will subtract amount of tax, which is 41600. We have got our earning after interest and tax. Preferred shares are not present in your question, so final earning would also be 62400 in absence of preferred shares. Earning per share would be calculated by taking these earnings, net earning 62400, and you need to divide it with number of shares 3000 given in your question. As we are solving C part, for C part it was set to change number of shares 3000 and loan amount was 1 lakh, and you can see loan was 1 lakh and number of shares 3000. So finally we can calculate earning per share for second option. So this is your amount of EPS for C2 part, and that is 20.8. Let's get back to the question, and you can see the second answer is 20.8, which is EPS. Okay, both answers have been calculated, and it was said to repeat A and B part. A part has been repeated for C, and now we are going to see what was said in B part. Using 80,000 EBIT as base, calculate degree of financial leverage. So in C third part, what we are going to do, C third part it is, we need to calculate degree of financial leverage, which would be calculated by taking change in EPS. Okay, better word was percentage change, and we have missed it once again. Percentage change in EPS and divided by percentage change in EBIT. So this would be the formula used for financial leverage, degree of financial leverage. Kindly keep it in mind, it is a process of division. There are two elements. At above you will have percentage change in EPS, and downside you will have percentage in EBIT. It means there are two factors needed, EBIT, and then you need to have EPS. Earning per share, earning before interest and tax. And since we are following our question where two EBITs were given, 80,000 and 120,000, same EBITs would be put over here, 80,000 and 120,000. Earning per share recently has been calculated. You can see first 12.8 and second EPS was 20.8. So these were required to calculate changes, and now first you will calculate this above figure, that is change in EPS. That's the simple thing. So you need to calculate percentage change in EPS. And how would you calculate it? There is a very simple formula, change in EPS divided by base EPS, and then you will multiply it with 100. So in this way you can calculate percentage in change in EPS. Simple way to remember it, you have to put some base. As you want to calculate your percentage of obtained marks, what you will do, obtained marks divided by total marks is the base. So just remind it in the similar way. Now let's see change in EPS. To calculate your change, First EBIT was 80,000, second EBIT is 120,000. Simply subtract it to calculate the change. So 120,000 first and second. Okay, we need to calculate change in EPS first. So to calculate the change in EPS, you will simply subtract it. 20.8 minus 12.8. This way, what you will do, you can calculate your change in EPS, and that would be divided by base EPS, which is 12.8. It was said in your question that to make 80,000 EBIT as base. So your base EPS is 12.8, and finally you will multiply it with 100 to calculate your percentage. Statement has been completed. Now we can simply calculate it. 20.8 minus 12.8, close your bracket, divided by base EPS 12.8, close your bracket, and multiply it with 100. You will get your percentage change in EPS, and that is 62.5. What you have done, change in EPS divided by base change 12.8 multiplied by 100. Alright, and second change is also needed to calculate percentage change in EBIT. For that, change in EBIT. Formula is very simple. What you will do, change in EBIT would be divided by base EBIT, and you will multiply it with 100. This way you will calculate percentage change in EBIT. Now let's get the change. For change in EBIT, simply you will subtract these two amounts to calculate the difference of or change in EBIT. So 120,000 and minus 80,000. Okay, everything is automatically Excel has picked. So we have got the amount. Now we will put it on calculator. 120,000 minus 80,000, it is the difference, and then you will divide base EBIT given in your question 80,000, close your bracket, and then simply multiply it with 100. So both changes have been calculated. Now let's see our formula of degree of financial leverage. You will simple put percentage change in EPS. I think we need little more space. Let's make it 2 lines are enough. So for following the formula, what we need, percentage change in EPS. This was 62.5. Put over here 62.5, and now you need just to put the second element, which is percentage change in EBIT, and here you have calculated percentage change in EBIT, which was 50. Put over here 50, and now you can calculate it. Simple, 62.5 divided by 50. Okay, so you have got your degree of financial leverage 1.25. Since it's your answer, let's mark it. Go back to the question and see what was the answer. So for C part, last answer 1.25 is mentioned over here, and we have calculated 1.25 as well. In this way, all answers are calculated and matched. Let's start reviewing it. A was having two answers, 12 and 24. Look over here, this is your first answer for A1 part, and for A2 part 24, 12 and 24, and your answer present over here is 12 and 24. Then B part was having single answer, which is 2. This is your B part, answer is 2. Alright, and then C part was having 3 answers, 12.8 and 20.8. C part 12.8 and 20.8, 12.8 and 20.8 First two answers matched, then final answer was 1.25. So here you have your final answer 1.25. All answers are matched as well. Please let me show you what we have already done. Just I'm going to zoom it off so that you can understand the performer of this question was. It is taking a little more time. Okay, look over here. I know you will not be able to see the amounts, but this is your performer. So you have calculated these amounts in this way. All answers were matched. Solution has been completed. We have reviewed our question as well. Once again, I just wanted to let you know how much was the length of this question. Here you have started your question from this A1 part, then you have completed A2 part, then B part. It was completed in this phase. C first part, C second part, and C third part was completed. All answers were reviewed, matched. It means 13.12 is 100% completed. Though solution is in front of you, all answers are reviewed, all answers are checked, whole solution was reviewed as well. Solution has been completed. But even then, I'm offering you to put your queries, put your questions, even the smallest problem you are facing. You can just share your problem and queries through messages, text, or you can directly contact as well. I will surely be available to answer your queries instantly. 13.12 has been completed. Thankfully, all answers are correct. As usual, I will share another thing. These lectures are absolutely live. There is no editing, there is no pause. Whatever I am speaking, it's absolutely live. Even there is no pause, there is no break. 100% live lecture. I have taken 47.13, 47 minute 15 second is in front of me, and when you will see your lecture time, same time would be appeared over there. 1.5 minute would be more than 47 minutes because I'm just signing it off. 13.12 is completed, and we'll surely be meeting soon again for the solution of any other question in future, inshallah. Up till then, please take care of yourself, and I am requesting you to please pray for me as well, and a humble request to please repeat this question 4 to 5 times to understand well. It's time to say goodbye. Thank you very much for your time. Allah Hafiz.